Imagine two people saving the same small amount every week. One of them is being good, just doing what they're supposed to do. The other is saving for a cabin weekend with friends. Same dollars, same effort. But fast forward a year, and usually only one of them is still going. Here's the twist. The difference isn't willpower. It's the story behind the savings. Think about how much easier it is to wake up for an early flight than for an early workout. Same alarm, same time of day. Totally different energy. Why? Because one of those has a really clear, exciting why. You're going somewhere. You can picture the trip. You can almost taste the airport coffee. The workout? That usually just feels like sacrifice. Saving money works the exact same way. When the story is, be responsible, don't mess this up, it drags. It feels heavy. When the story is, that road trip playlist on full blast, or never panicking at an unexpected bill again, it actually pulls you forward. In this episode, we're going to zoom in on that pull. We'll talk about how to turn vague hopes into specific targets that actually feel worth it. We'll look at how to pick goals that light you up, how to break them into steps that don't feel impossible, and how to set things up so progress happens almost in the background. Kind of like a good navigation app quietly guiding you, turn by turn, while you enjoy the drive. So up to now, we've talked about why a clear why matters. You've seen that story and emotion are doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Now comes the fun part, deciding what, exactly, you're saving for. Think of this like planning a playlist instead of just turning on random radio. Some tracks are quick hits, a weekend away, new glasses, a little cushion so one surprise bill doesn't wreck your month. Other tracks are the long, slow builds. Owning a home, funding a dream sabbatical, buying back your time later in life. In the next few minutes, you'll map out both kinds of tracks. Then you'll design simple money routes that quietly steer you toward them. Here's where your goals really start to take shape. Instead of asking, how much should I save? Try asking, what do I want my money to do for me in the next few months? And in the next few years? That one shift changes everything. It turns saving from a moral chore into a design problem. You're not trying to be a good person with money. You're sketching a life that feels more like you. Let's start with short-term goals first, the fast tracks on your playlist. Look 3 to 18 months ahead. Ask yourself, what would genuinely make my day-to-day feel safer or more fun? Don't write, be responsible. Write things like, $400 so surprise car repairs don't wreck me. Or $350 for concert tickets and gas. Notice how specific those are. You can picture the mechanic's shop without the panic. You can picture the stadium, the music, the drive home. The more concrete and sensory the goal, the easier it is for your brain to care. You're not just saving for a number, you're saving for a specific scene you can actually see in your mind. Once you've done that, then we zoom out. Now let's talk long-term goals, the slow builds running in the background of your life. These are 3 years away, 10 years away, or even further. Things like a place where I can paint in the mornings, or a cushion that lets me walk away from a toxic job, or fewer money worries when I'm older. And here's the key. At this stage, don't worry yet about whether they're realistic. Treat this like brainstorming locations before you pick the route. You're just choosing the kind of life moments you want money to make easier. Once you've got those scenes, short-term and long-term, it's time to translate them into simple targets. Imagine you're drawing lanes on a road. One lane is for next year stuff. One lane is for later life stuff. Give each lane a label and a rough price tag. Then break that price tag into bite-sized stretches of road. Instead of, I need $1,500 someday, you might say, $30 every Friday. Those small, repeating chunks work like stepping stones across a river. Each one is close enough to the next that you're not tempted to turn back. Now let's take it one step further and make those stepping stones automatic. You choose the destination, but you let the systems, the autopilot, handle most of the driving. That could mean automatic transfers on payday. It could mean a separate lane or a separate account for each big goal. It could be simple progress bars you can glance at, like a dashboard, and see how far you've come. Your job becomes checking in and making small adjustments, not white-knuckling every single money decision. Here's another way to picture it. Think of each goal as a tab open in your brain. When everything is just one big bucket called savings, all of those tabs pile into one messy window. It's hard to keep track of what's what. But when you name them, New City Fund, Calm When Stuff Breaks Fund, Future Me Freedom Fund, it's like giving each project its own clean workspace. You're still using the same computer, that's your income, but now it's easier to stay focused. And you're less likely to accidentally close the tab that matters most to you. You can also think of your goals like different game levels. Level 1 might be, beat the $300 mini emergency boss. Level 2 could be, unlock one guilt-free weekend away. Higher levels might sound like, reduce work hours, or live somewhere with sunlight in the kitchen. Each level has its own little health bar that you fill with deposits. When one bar is looking low, you send a few extra points there. Not because you're failing, but because that's how games work. You adapt as you go. Over time, your money map becomes less about restriction and more about choosing which levels you're excited to level up next. And as saving tools evolve, this money map may get woven into your daily life in really natural ways. You might see goals surfacing contextually, almost like lane markers lighting up as you drive. Your calendar, your location, even mood data could gently suggest, hey, want to nudge a little toward that creative sabbatical fund? Money might feel less like a separate spreadsheet you dread opening, and more like a thermostat you tune. A notch toward freedom here, a notch toward security there. Always circling back to one question, is this still the life I meant to build? Saving with purpose isn't about perfection, it's about rhythm. Some months you'll turn up the volume, other months you'll just keep the beat. Treat your goals like a playlist you remix over time. Add new tracks, retire old ones, change the order. As long as you keep listening to what actually matters to you, your money slowly tunes your days toward that sound. So let's bring this home with a quick recap and a simple challenge. Here's what we covered today. First, the story behind your savings matters more than willpower. Be good is weak fuel. Cabin weekend with friends, or never panicking at an unexpected bill, that's the stuff that keeps you going. Second, clear, specific goals beat vague intentions. Short-term, fast tracks and long-term, slow builds both matter. The more you can see the scene in your mind, the easier it is to stick with the plan. Third, breaking big numbers into small, regular steps is what makes goals feel doable. $30 every Friday is a lot less scary than $1,500 someday. Those little stepping stones add up. Fourth, systems are your friend. Automatic transfers, separate accounts, simple dashboards. Those are your autopilot. They carry you forward so you don't have to think about it all the time. And finally, naming and visualizing your goals, like browser tabs or game levels, helps you stay motivated and flexible. You always know which level you're working on, and you can shift your focus without losing the big picture. Now here's your action plan for this week. Number 1. Take a few minutes to jot down the key ideas from this episode about saving with purpose, especially the ones that hit home for you. Writing it down helps you remember and makes it more likely you'll act on it. Number 2. Pick one specific area where this applies to your life right now. Maybe it's that $300 mini emergency boss. Maybe it's a weekend away. Maybe it's a tiny start on future me freedom. Number 3. Take one small action this week to move toward that goal. Set up a $20 transfer. Rename a savings account. Write the goal on a sticky note where you'll see it. Even a tiny step counts. If you do only those 3 things, you've turned this episode from just ideas into real progress. And remember, you're not just being good with money. You're building a life that feels more like you, one small, purposeful step at a time.